Tell me when you're ready, Joe.
Rolling.
Hey, this is Dominic with Maximum Threshold Radio. We're coming at you live tonight at the Cleveland Tower City Amphitheater, and I have my good friend over here, Dave Ellefson, the bass player of Megadeth. How's it going, Dave?
How are you? How you doing?
Great, man. So, yeah, you're on tour now. You're doing the reunion thing and everything. How's it working out for you?
So far, it's been awesome. It's been really, really good. We started. I came back in February, and the next thing up to bat right after that was the 20th anniversary of the Rest in Peace tour, which has really been a big success. In fact, as soon as we started playing it, our phones and emails from around the world started coming in. As you know, South America was like, man, you got to play that down here, and Europe was like, that's no fair, you need to play it over here. And then so we announced that we were going to be playing it here on American Carnage, and so it seems like, you know, it's funny, there's only 1 year it's going to be 20th anniversary, and it's this year, so it seems like everybody wants to hear that record now.
So how was it, you know, actually breaking the record back out and listening to the songs again and just learning? Did you have to relearn the songs all over again?
You know, I stayed up on all the material even while I was away from the group there for a few years. I stayed up on all the songs, you know. I mean, there are very intricate bass lines throughout all the Megadeth catalog, you know. And so I stayed up on it just as a bass player and just as my own, you know, interest in it and everything. So it wasn't that far of a stretch, to be honest with you. In fact, I was really looking forward to coming back. There's a few songs like Five Magics. You know, we've never played Rest in Peace Polaris, so there's a few that we had never played before. I was really looking forward to busting those out. So, and they're pretty bass heavy too. So
yeah, I plugged that in today. I was walking. I was taking my baby for a walk today, and I had her in a stroller. And I had it on my iPod, and I said, hey, let's listen to the record. So we her walk the whole record and listen to it. And she's only 19 months old, but she's sitting there listening to it. She was like, banging her head. So I thought it was really cool.
Child abuse or something.
She's white and brave. So how's the response to the other shows for doing this?
Oh, it's been great. It's been really, really cool. I mean, there's some shows that we did over in Europe where we did kind of an abbreviated version of Rest in Peace. You know, we play some big festivals and stuff, and even like the big four shows we did, you know, we would change it up a little bit. You know, we got a lot of songs to choose from, and there's some that are staples that, I mean, we pretty much have to play them or else our fans will massacre us. You know, so and we want to play them. I mean, there's some that are big, you know, pretty big hit songs for us. So those, you know, are kind of always going to be in the set. But you know, it's funny. We've played about half of the Rest in Peace album, you know, kind of off and on, rotated it in and out of the set list over the years, and so about half of the record, you know, people have heard, you know, Holy Wars, Hangar 18, Tornado of Souls, Lucretia, a couple things like that, you know. But the other half of it is the stuff that, you know, and then when you play it top to bottom in order, the sequential order of it is that it is on the record. It's kind of like, it's like pushing the, you know, start button on your cassette player almost, right? It's almost that old. It's great now, you know, because Capitol, you know, they're you know, making the vinyl versions of it now, which is cool. So it's awesome when good fans come through the line and they want us to autograph the actual 12-inch vinyl, you know, the big vinyl. It's you see a little more vinyl now, but there for a long time, man, vinyl was kind of going the way of the dinosaur, you know.
How does it make you feel? Look at those old records and seeing you on them and comparing yourself from then to now. How does it make you feel?
My hair looked good.
Yeah.
No, they were. You know, it's just it's cool. It's you know, it's a little trip back. I mean, Dave and I pretty much look the same, you know. And it's funny because Dave and I, and then two other guys with black hair, you know, Marty and Nick on that, and now we have Sean and Chris with black hair. So it's kind of like the same thing. It's almost the identical. That seems to be the die has been cast, you know, for the Megadeth lineup. But no, they're great to have here too. I mean, Chris is such a phenomenal guitar player. I mean, he's in practicing right now. I mean, he goes over and over and over just the
it's hard stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, he pays attention to the slightest, tiniest little trail of a bend and, you know, where the bend falls back off the note. I mean, he just really scopes down to incremental detail,
I was thinking
you know?
that today, listening to the record, because when I was listening to it, I was like, wow, there's so many little pieces to that.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of details put to that. You know, back then, you would think bands were just piecing things together to put it out there, but the Megadeth was a lot different. They actually put a lot more thought and everything. It was a pretty detailed record.
Yeah, and especially that one. I mean, that one, you know, it's funny because we wrote it and we did two different demo sessions of it. One demo that we did was actually with Chuck Beeler, because it was, you know, we were transitioning out of So Far So Good So What, so me and Chuck and Dave were in a studio in LA, like a rehearsal room, and we wrote a bunch of songs. We went in and we demoed Holy Wars, Tornado of Souls, and I think Polaris, I think. And I mean, it was funny because the tempos were really slow. You know, Holy Wars was like, you know, and it was like this whole different thing. And then when Nick Menza came in the band, I mean, he was just a ferocious animal on the drums. You know, so all of a sudden the tempos really kicked up, and he really gave it an urgency and a you know, ferociousness to it. And then we did a demo session in December of '89, and I think Chris Poland played on some of those demos too, and that was pretty much the entire record. It didn't have Dawn Patrol on it. And that's when we realized, when we were in the studio about 2 or 3 months later recording the record with Mike Klink, we realized after we had all the tracks down, Nick threw down something that's now released on another, I don't even know where it is, on a box set release somewhere. It's called My Creation. And then I had put down Dawn Patrol, and we kind of thought, well, which one of these is better? And Dave wrote some lyrics for Dawn Patrol, and that became the extra track that we needed. We just realized we're like one song short, you know. So then it's cool because now, as even when we're up there playing it, Dawn Patrol really provided this cool musical transition. You know, you got all these ferocious tunes, and then all of a sudden there's this, you know, it's not a ballad, but it's this really stark, dark, ominous, really haunting, end of the world kind of tune, which then goes right into Polaris. So it's funny how the album, we didn't set out to do it this way, but now that we play it night after night, it really flows kind of almost like a concept record of sorts, you know. It starts with Holy Wars, and you know, it starts with the beginning and the end of the world, and ends with the end of the world, right? It's with
Circle of life.
Yeah, right. The end to the end, you know. So no, it's cool the way that it worked out. It's one of those very serendipitous records that it's got magic in it, you know, and it's, you know, every record you hope has that, and I think every Megadeth record, you know, these, you know, I can speak for the ones that I was part of when I was there, they all ended up having them, and they go through these very creative transitions, you know, and you know, even Cryptic Writings, for instance, is another record, very different record, not a, you know, really kind of thrash metal record, you know, but half of it was, and half of it was kind of more almost melodic hit songs, you know what I mean, but every one of them, Count Under Extinction, Peace Cells, you know, they've all kind of had this really kind of magical flow to them that developed, you know, and I think if you're going to make a full-length album, that's what it should be. Otherwise, you know, just record singles or EPs and pop those out.
To wind us up, so I know you got a lot going on over here today. Just one last thing I want to ask you, what are you expecting out of this tour, the Rust in Peace tour?
You know what they say about expectations. You say so much to be disappointed, you know.
Go for it.
But yeah, you know.
Yeah,
well, you know, I think with this one we kind of knew what to expect a little bit because we'd already done tours like this before. You know, 20 years ago we did the Clash of the Titans tour, and that was the first time we really. I mean, us and Slayer have played together for years. We played a show at Lemoore in Brooklyn. Gosh, I think probably Killing Is My Business album for us. I don't know what record that would have been for them, but I mean, we've done stuff together. You know, Kerry King played in Megadeth, their very first 5 shows. So, I mean, we've had kind of we've known them for years. We've had a close bond with those guys. And then, of course, years later, we do Clash of the Titans, and you know, now here we are all these years later. So, I mean, you know, us and Slayer, and you know, they even had Testament. You know, it's a good bill, man. It's 3 bands from the same genre, but all very different. You know, very unique, and you know, definitely, you know, we definitely don't shadow over into each other's territory at all, which is cool. When you come and see Carnage, you see 3 very distinct looking and very distinct sounding bands.
Okay, Dave, I'm going to let you go because I know you got a lot going on. Awesome. I want to thank you very much for taking time out again.
Yes.
As usual, you're always anytime you want to come on our show, man, you got my number, just give me a call.
I will take you up on that. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Can you do us a quick can you stop that and do